What's going on, Gabos? At the request of King Krenko himself, we've got a quick deck tech on my Krenko EDH build. We're starting out with 30 basic lands. As you see, I like to kind of sprinkle in a bunch of different art. I like my full arts. Revised are probably my favorite. That's when I started playing Magic. "30 basics. Then we've got, let's see, 6 non-basics. Valakut for your just random lightning bolt every so often. Lotus Field, really good for ramp. Castle Embereth. Path to Ancestry. Spikefield Cove. Valakut Awakening. 2 modals there. I do have a couple proxies in the deck. I have 6 proxies in the deck. That's just because I'm either testing the card out or still seeking it. I do not try and pass my proxies off as real cards. I make sure that they have a proxy symbol so nothing gets mistaken. Alright, let's see. Quest for the Goblin Lord. It's pretty obvious. You get your +2/+0 once you play a couple goblins in this deck. That could go online the turn you cast it, depending on how late in the game it is. Braid of Fire. A lot of people wonder why I run this, because you can only use the mana on your upkeep, but keep in mind that any instant and any creature with a mana ability can be used at instant speed, so you can use those on your upkeep. This gets really good when you pair it with a creature that I'll show you later. Fervor. Yeah, I like hasty goblins. Margaret Shenanigans. I sack goblins all the time, so it's really nice to just keep doing damage while you're doing your other triggers. Blood Moon. Nobody likes Blood Moon. Aggravated Assault. This gets really crazy once you start getting a lot of mana, especially if you have the combination with Skirk Prospector, because what you do is you'll have your attack phase, then you'll untap all your creatures, including Krenko, then you get to tap down Krenko again, double up all your goblins. If you have haste on all your goblins, you get to attack with everything again. If you have more mana, untap everything again with Skirk, tap Krenko down again, double everything up, rinse and repeat until you run out of mana, which doesn't usually happen. Usually they run out of life. Goblin Warrens. Again, if you have Skirk and a bunch of tokens, a bunch of mana, you can use this with Braid of Fire, and that'll get you a lot of death triggers and ETB triggers with your tokens. Ferocity of the Wilds. You know, goblins need +1/+0 and trample. 5 Alarm Fire. This gets nuts when you start getting a ton of tokens. You could pretty much do your 5 damage multiple times every attack phase. Stranglehold, because it really helps to slow your opponents down if you're kind of not drawing what you need. Rage Reflection. What goblin doesn't want double strike? Skull Clamp. Pretty self-explanatory when you're making 1/1 tokens. Soul Ring for ramp. Swiftfoot Boots. Lightning Greaves for Krenko's protection and also to give Krenko haste. Nyx Lotus is some pretty good ramp, especially when you go mid-game and you've got a bunch of loyalty. This will ramp you up really fast. Harnfell. I don't play Big Grid, however you say it. Harnfell is actually a really good artifact, though. This has won me games when I was top decking. If you top deck a land and you have enough land, that land, you get 2 cards to play. Vanquisher's Banner for +1/+1 and card draw. Conjurer's Closet for all the multiple ETB goblins I have. You can Muxus every turn. You can Matron every turn. You can Ringleader every turn. This gets really good. Embercleave, that's my favorite for Muxus. Brightstone Ritual for some ramp. Goblin Grenade. I mean, come on, guys. That's old school. Goblin War Strike for your direct damage. Deflecting SWAT. Sometimes it comes in handy. And Massive Raid for more damage. Now what everybody came to see was our goblins. Of course, we got the man himself. One drops, I've got Impulsive Pilferer for some ramp. Goblin Sledder. Sacking goblins ain't no thing. This just, if one goblin gets through, say you have 10 goblins, one goblin gets through, you can sack the other goblins just to give them that extra damage that they didn't see coming. Legion Loyalist for Strike and Trample. Spike Shot Elder, that's good for when you have your buffs out and you just need some spot removal. That's pretty helpful. Thank you to Brian for this Goblin Surgeon. Sack a goblin to regenerate a creature. This is helpful for the dragon I have that I'll show you later, because it says sacrifice a goblin to regenerate a creature. It doesn't have to be a goblin that you're regenerating. I do only have, I believe, 4 non-goblin creatures in this deck. Skirk Prospector. This is the best ramp you'll ever get. Dark Dweller Oracle. Goblin Pile Driver for your blue opponents. We don't like blue. Bloodmark Mentor, again, first strike for all my red creatures, not just goblins. Goblin Crater Maker. There's your Eldrazi remover. Goblin Lookout, same thing like the Sledder. Tap it, sack a goblin. All your goblins get +2/+0. That's pretty devastating too. Dockside Extortionist, more ramp. Goblin War Driver is pretty helpful. Gives all your other attacking creatures +1/+0. There's a lot of attack buffs in here. Goblin Tunneler works really well with Warren Instigator. If you can get these two out at the same time, you're dropping two extra goblins every turn for free. Krenko 10th Street Kingpin. This is just token generation, and this guy can get pretty big if people don't deal with him right away. Goblin Matron for your tutoring. Relic Robber. This is also good with the Tunneler. If you make him unblockable and you just keep giving them those artifact tokens that damage them every upkeep, they get really annoyed at that. More haste. Once you start using Krenko's ability, if your goblins have haste, people tend to scoop real quickly. Goblin Sharpshooter. This thing, if you're playing against another token deck, this thing's amazing. It'll just take out all their 1/1 tokens in one shot. It also is good, say you only have a couple opponents at low health and you have a whole bunch of goblins, you can just start pinging your own goblins when you have, say, Boggart Shenanigans or Pashalik Mons or something like that, where if your goblins die, you do damage. You can start pinging your own goblins just to take everybody out. Legion War Boss. Again, just token generation. Pashalik Mons, you can create tokens, deal damage, and it can also, each time you sack the goblin to create 2 goblins, that also is a death trigger for its own ability. Sensation Gorger for a little gas, in case you need some cards. Goblin General, more attack buffs. Goblin King, this is pretty annoying when you get Blood Moon out. Goblin War Chief, more haste and cheaper goblins, that's always good. Goblin Chieftain, haste and bigger goblins, that's always good. This guy's really cool, Goblin Chain Whirler. It's a 3/3 first striker, and 1 damage to everything when it ETBs. That's another good one for Conjurer's Closet. Lightning Crafter, this one's really cool, just a pocket lightning bolt every turn. Ringleader, another ETB for Conjurer's Closet. Goblin Trash Master, take care of those artifacts, buff your goblins up. Probably my favorite magic card that I own right here is the Goblin Wizard. Most expensive reserve list goblin right there. Siege Gang Commander, obviously sacking to deal damage, and then also when you sack, you get your death triggers. This guy's pretty good. My 1 of 2 flyers in the deck. Generally, if you pull this out late game, nobody's having fun but you. Muxus. That's all I gotta say. And here is the combo with your Braid of Fire. So Braid of Fire, cumulative upkeep, add 1 red to your mana pool. This makes it so that red doesn't go away. If you just go a couple of turns putting red mana in your mana pool, people tend to get scared to even take this out because of the amount of damage you can do when they kill it. Perforos, I mean, this ends games right here. Once you start using Krenko's ability, all those ETBs just get silly. And Mog Catcher. This is one of the few non-goblins. Pay 3, tap, and search for a goblin. I mean, I think it's okay that it's not a goblin. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. But this deck is forever changing. I'm always trying new stuff. If you have any suggestions, please let me know.